Christianity has played a very large role in shaping Armenia's national identity, and it was a big part of our week-long tour. We now go inside Armenia's main cathedral for a beautiful and moving service. It's a tremendous source of pride. We heard it time and time again.
Armenia was the first country in the world to officially recognize Christianity as its state religion. That happened in 301.
Christianity and its roots are buried deep. The Bible says Noah's Ark came to rest here on Mount Ararat, the tallest mountain in the region, a symbol of Armenia and the Armenian people. Christianity has helped shape Armenia's national identity for 1,700 years. The Armenian Apostolic Church is among the original ancient churches. It was founded by the apostles Thaddeus and Bartholomew. The church's holy see and main cathedral is Echmiadzin. It's a Sunday in Echmiadzin. Christians have come from around the world to worship in the first established church. This is also like the Armenian Vatican. The Catholicos lives here, the supreme patriarch of the Armenian Apostolic Church. Parishioners stand for the service, light candles and pray, an experience carried on for centuries.
I think of people, it's just 1,700 years of history. I think of people who lived in 15th century, for example.
Who walked in that
same door.
The religious significance cannot be questioned. Its museum houses amazing artifacts. Petrified wood, they say, came from Noah's Ark, and a spear that pierced the side of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. Echmiadzin is just one of the many beautiful and spiritual points of interest. Our tour continues with a stop at some incredible monasteries, each playing an important role in Armenia's history. It's one of the most beautiful sounds I've ever heard. 5 voices uniting as one in a venue carved from stone. This is the Garni Vocal Quintet performing in Gerhard Monastery, a spectacular ancient structure founded in the 4th century. It's partially carved from a mountainside with wondrous acoustics. A sacred stream with holy waters trickles inside. Gerhard is among the many sacred sites scattered throughout Armenia. Some have survived centuries and proudly grace the countryside. Others are remnants of ancient times. This is Zavardnots, one of the oldest churches to have been built in Armenia. Constructed during the 7th century, it's believed to have been destroyed in an earthquake. The church sat in ruins for hundreds and hundreds of years, but was eventually rebuilt to a point to give all of us an idea of what the original church may have looked like. Noravank, which means new monastery, was built in the 13th century. The church itself is 2 stories. A narrow climb leads to the temple over the ground-level burial vault. At Horvirap, there's a harrowing descent into a sacred pit. It was here that evangelist St. Gregory the Illuminator was imprisoned for 13 years. Armenia's pagan king banished St. Gregory the Illuminator to this underground snake pit for his efforts to spread Christianity. When the king became sick, he freed St. Gregory and became well again. The king was so thankful he converted the country's religion to Christianity. 301 AD, Armenia became the first Christian nation. The historic and biblical significance of these sites draws tourists worldwide. A visit that for many will be one they'll never forget.
So beautiful. Well, if you know the history of Armenia, you'll likely agree that the people are resilient. They are survivors, even after a devastating genocide. Our next stop, the Genocide Memorial in the city of Yerevan. And I do have one warning. Some of the images you are about to see are quite graphic.
So now let's see what we have here.
Haik Demoyan is on the hunt for truth. The truth of what happened to an entire generation.
This is from the series of the front page coverage of Armenian massacres and killings.
Demoyan is director of Yerevan's Armenian Genocide Museum. He regularly scours eBay and other online sources for evidence of the Armenian massacre by Ottoman Turks.
See how newsworthy news were. That's why we showed it. So on front pages. So 2 issues without any omitting, so covered the Armenian massacres in Istanbul in 1895.
The genocide involved a series of mass killings from 1894 to 1918. 1.5 million Armenians lost their lives, details disputed by the Turkish government.
Here we see Berlin-Baghdad railway and transportation of Armenian deportees.
The Genocide Museum offers a disturbing up-close look at the horror.
What is important here, no food supplies, no water were delivered and no stops. So many of them died because of starvation, because of thirst.
A horror that Demoyan and Armenians worldwide will never forget.
Have you had any feedback from them, the Turkish government, on what you've put together here?
Let me put it in this way, my answer. We are on a heavy attention of that side in many terms.
50 years after the genocide, Armenians demanded recognition. In 1967, on a hilltop overlooking the capital city, this genocide memorial was built.
This is the eternal flame, which has been lit constantly for the last 50 years. It's surrounded by 12 pillars, which represent the 12 historic provinces of Armenia.
A tall spire points to the sky, representing Armenia's national rebirth.
This monument here symbolizes the hope of all Armenians that one day we will unite in one land and we are not scattered around the world.
The genocide drove Armenians from their homes and spread them around the world. Every year on April 24th, thousands come back to this memorial and remember.
The Armenian genocide did force thousands of survivors to flee, and now more live outside the country than inside. However, some have come back, and we now meet Armenian repatriates, including one man from Fresno.